Hey friends, what if Naruto was rough harem with Mikoto Fem Kyubbi movie? Screamed Mikoto as she looked on the scene of what had just transpired. Her son, Itachi, had just killed his father, along with the rest of his clan besides his mother and his younger brother, Sasuke. As Itachi ran forward to finish his mother off, a large amount of killing intent filled the room. Itachi froze in place about 4 feet away from stabbing his mother. Itachi started looking around frantically as he knelt on one knee looking for the source of the killing intent. Naruto slowly walked into the room from the window, which his blood splattered all over it from Itachi's father. "What the hell, Itachi-kun, why are you doing this?" asked a fuming Naruto, leaking killer intent in waves, adding a little of the Kyuubi's chakra to enhance the look and amount of killer intent. Itachi was scared for his life, but in all his time in Anbu as an Anbu captain, taught him how to keep a straight face even in the most dangerous situations. "I, Naruto-san, am erasing a cursed clan that should not exist anymore," said Itachi, keeping his emotionless visage on. Naruto changed from infuriated to confused. "What do you mean?" Naruto asked. While slowing his killing intent, Itachi started to stand, looking into Naruto's crimson Kyuubi-fied eyes. "Ever since the beginning, our clan has succumbed to the darkness of regret, anger, despair, and depression, and when this happens, we always seem to turn into power-crazed people, not seeing the wrong in our ways," said Itachi. Naruto realized his words and asked, "But if that is true, why are you here? Why didn't you just try to change their ways and become an even greater shinobi?" Itachi kept his still emotionless face, no emotion showing while saying, "Because Naruto, things never change if they won't cooperate. Now move so I can go on to Sasuke after my mother." Naruto just moved in front of Mikoto and started leaking another giant amount of killing intent, only directed at Itachi. Said man fell to both of his knees, panting for breath. Itachi understood his answer and stared at him angrily. "I see, well I will leave my mother to live, along with Sasuke, because if I know you correctly you won't let me kill him either." Naruto just answered in a monotone voice, "Nope, not a chance." "Now, Sasuke, please come in," said Naruto, looking at the sliding door behind Itachi. Sasuke had been watching from test start of when Itachi went to lunge at his mother. After coming home from a longer than normal practice of the shuriken and kunai targeting, he came home to the side of the Uchiha compound, covered in dead Uchihas. He had ran home and witnessed the small boy known as Naruto save his mother. The whole time until now his thoughts were of what the hell. How's Itachi scared of this boy? He looks my age, and now after hearing said boy call his name he wondered, how does he know him here? Sasuke opened the door and ran towards his mother, giving her a hug. "I thought I would lose you to sob." Mikoto had been captivated by the blonde protecting her until she registered the little child attached to her arm crying. She realized it was her other son, Sasuke-kun, said Mikoto, hugging her son back, newly shed tears running down her face. "Don't worry Sasuke-kun, I'll stay by your side. Stop crying please," said Mikoto, hushing her son and rocking him back and forth, comforting him to the best of her ability. While the mother cradled her son, Naruto was looking at them with longing, sadness and a small hint of happiness. Naruto only wished had somebody that would befriend him or love him. "Well, I will be on my leave then, until next time, Naruto Uzumaki," said Itachi, before sunshining in a swill of leaves. "Naruto Uzumaki, huh? I need to find out about this guy. If he could scare Itachi, then he must be amazingly strong. I wonder if we could be friends, even though the circumstances are pretty weird," thought Sasuke as he stopped sobbing. Naruto was just about to leave, to go back to his rundown apartment, probably already strewn with new graffiti telling him to die, to leave us alone already, and the one that always made him sad, "You have no family or friends here, go in a hole and just die," when Sasuke's mom, Mikoto, spoke up after seeing him almost apart and seeing his sad face. "Why did you come here, and where are you going?" she asked. "Well, for your first question, Itachi was acting weird lately and I decided to come over and see what was wrong with him, to see him about to kill you, so I intervened," said Naruto, sadness and pain obviously showing in his voice. "And for your second question, I was going to go back home to erase the new graffiti probably made on my apartment door, then eat some instant ramen. Then go to bed," said Naruto, finishing his sentence. Mikoto and Sasuke both looked into his now ocean blue eyes that showed many emotions, mostly consisting of bad emotions more than good, sorta giving himself a look that made him look more older and wiser than his age. Intled, "Well, thanks for saving me and my song, but can't you stay and help us repay you, with maybe some tea or some money? You look terrible and you seem like you were just beat up," said Mikoto, now realizing Naruto had many bruises. "Spelling always was one of my bad 4 days p, and a black eye, along with a lot of gashes leaking blood from his arms, legs, face and chest. If the giant blood-soaked shirt was any clue, well before I came here I was beat up by a mob of civilians. Nothing out of the ordinary in my daily life," said Naruto, the pain and sadness showing in his eyes tenfold. "That's terrible," cried Mikoto. "How could you be beaten this badly, daily no less?" Naruto looked at her for a second before answering, it's fine, I know why, I've always healed back up anyway, even if I am beaten almost every day, and 10 times worse on my birthday, I know all too well on why they do this. Mikoto wondered how civilians could do this to a little boy until it hit her. This is the Kyuubi's host. No wonder he has so much sadness in his eyes. Nevertheless, why can't the villagers see past the Kyuubi and notice the lonely little boy I see before me? After thinking things over for a bit, she came up with an idea. Naruto, would you like to stay here with me and Sasuke? And live with us? Asked Mikoto. Sasuke was thinking that it will be nice to have a friend during this hard time in his life, and a cool and badass one at that. And agreed with his mother. Yeah, we could be friends and share my room, said Sasuke. Naruto just looked amazed. How could they offer him a place to live and even friendship from a boy his own age, something Hess wanted for a long time so easily? Really? Questioned Naruto barely above a whisper in complete disbelief. Yeah, it could be fun, said Sasuke smiling, now looking at the boy he now would call friend. Naruto thought for a second, wondering if they were joking, then looked in their eyes and only saw sincerity and realized they weren't lying. It like that, said Naruto, a little twinkle in his eyes, and a lone tear ran down his right cheek. Mikoto just looked at the two young men and smiled. Her son would have a friend that could see past the name of the Uchiha, which others did not, and always addressed them as the higher-ups of Konoha society. After a crew of Anbu cleaned up the mess of the Uchiha massacre, and Mikoto came back from telling the Hokage what happened, came back and said prayers with Naruto and Sasuke, then let them sleep in her room for the night. After what all happened today, Sasuke slept in his mother's bed while Naruto slept on the floor. Good night, Naruto, said Sasuke. Happy he had a cool friend that saved his life along with his mother's, he would always be indebted to his friend and would always like him no matter what. Naruto started to cry silently in the dark. He had someone to come back to, and he had a friend. Good night, Sasuke, Mikoto-san, said Naruto, happy there were others that would accept him. And fell asleep happy as can be for the first time in a long time. Good night, Sasuke, Naruto-kun, said Mikoto in a light whisper before turning off the lamp next to her bed and went to sleep. Sasuke walked into the kitchen to see his mother cooking bacon and toast. Good morning, Ka-san, said Sasuke. Sasuke looked around and wondered where Naruto was. Hey Ka-san, where's Naruto-kun? Mikoto looked at him with a small smile. Has still asleep. When I woke you up I let him sleep in, said Mikoto. Oh, he said, before running upstairs to wake up Naruto. He opened the door and said, Naruto-kun, you up? Said Blonde woke up and looked at Sasuke. Yes, I am, thanks. They ate their breakfast and headed outside. Sasuke and Naruto hit it off well. They had a lot in common, and today he thought Sasuke needed to know the truth. Naruto had been consulting with the Kyuubi on if he should tell Sasuke about her. She had said he could trust him, and that was all Naruto needed to know. Sasuke. We will be entering the Ninja Academy in a week. I need to tell you something before we enter, said Naruto. Sasuke wondered what his friend wanted to tell him, so he asked, what is it, Naruto-kun? Naruto looked at Sasuke and answered, well, first I would like to tell you why the civilians hate me. Your mother already knows, and since you're my closest and only friend my age. And I'm hoping you will trust me and keep it a secret. It is a S-class secret after all. Sasuke was confused. He always wondered why the villagers hated his newfound friend, and to hear it's an S-class secret was another thing to be confused about. Sasuke, I am the container of the Kyuubi. The villagers hate me for what I hold inside me, and I hope you don't hate me either. Sasuke's eyes opened wide at this new information. Of course. It makes a little more sense now, but why is he looking at me like I am gonna hit him? He looks like he thinks I'm gonna leave. Hi, oh shit. He does think I'm gonna leave him. Quick, Sasuke, think of a response. I'm his first friend his age ever. I can't let him be hurt like that. Naruto-kun, why are you looking at me like that? We are friends and always will be. Please don't look like I'm gonna leave you, said Sasuke. After this statement Naruto cried in tears of joy, more like one lone tear, since Naruto never cries unless it's like the most saddest thing ever or happiest thing ever. He had a friend that liked him for who he was and not for what he held inside him. Kyuubi-chan. I have a real friend, he still leads me even after I told him I contain you inside me. Thought Naruto through his mental link with the Kyuubi. Well, most didn't know, Naruto could talk to Kyuubi. He could ever since 4 years ago when he was 5 years old and was beat up the worst on his birthday that night. He blacked out and woke up in his mindscape and him and her just chatted. They became fast friends and still are. That's great, Naruto-kun, said Kyuubi back to Naruto. Now, tell him I appreciate him being there for you right now, since we all know I can't help on the outside world, said a downcast Kyuubi. Oh Kyuubi-chan, I appreciate your concern, and I will always be proud Angela I hold you in me. You are my first true friend, but Sasuke's my first true friend me age, so you're both precious to me, and Mikoto-san is also precious to me, because she is the only adult that openly shows her kindness besides the third, thought Naruto back to Kyuubi. Kyuubi smiled in his mindscape and then frowned when she thought of what she had to do soon and didn't want to tell Naruto. She knew he would blow a gasset, so she kept it to herself. Naruto looked at Sasuke and said, "Thanks Sasuke, you don't know how much that means to me. Also Kyuubi-chan says she appreciates you being my friend and staying by my side, arigato." Sasuke after hearing this thought Kyuubi is a girl. "You welcome Naruto-kun," said Sasuke with a smile on his face. "Okay, and now the other thing," said Naruto, "and we get to the academy I will not show my true skill. I will only show enough to pass with flying colors, don't need people thinking I'm stupid haha. But, I wanted to know if you want to train with me and pass through the academy fast so me and you can get on a genin team." Sasuke was confused why Naruto wouldn't show his true skill, but realized that if he did then the civilians could twist it and say that the Kyuubi is probably taking over him and making him strong enough to take revenge. "Alright. I understand, and yes I would appreciate it if you train me," said and upbeat Sasuke. He was happy his Asama-ass new friend that was strong would be training him. "Okay, well I will be training you through this week until the day we go to the academy," said Naruto. "We will start right now." Here he tossed some chakra weights at him. "These are chakra weights, start at 50 pounds each limb, you will progress farther later in life. But right now just add the 50 pounds, okay now we do 65 laps around the Uchiha compound, then train into jutsu until we go to the academy, after that day I will teach you some ninjutsu and kinjutsu if you would like," said Naruto. Sasuke was wide-eyed once again, he was so happy and overwhelmed that he jumped at Naruto and hugged his best friend. "Thank you Naruto-sensei. Also yes I would like to learn kinjutsu along with the new ninjutsu you will train me in." Naruto didn't expect the sensei bit, but decided to tell Sasuke, "I don't mind you calling me that, but only when it's me and you, I don't want people at the academy wondering why you said that," said Naruto. Sasuke just nodded, and they started their week-long training session. Time skip -1 week. Day of academy entrance. Naruto and Sasuke were both walking toward the academy, not taking the roof so they could spend time together as friends. Sasuke over the course of 1 week had grown tenfold from the day they started. Sasuke now had on 100 pounds on each limb that would stay taut way until the end of every month where he would walk around all day without the weights to get used to the feel. Then add 20 pounds to the previous weight the next day until the month was up again. Due to this method, Sasuke was a lot faster and more strong than Andy normal genin. Then again he was taught by a boy his age that could probably easily take 2 jounin without being exhausted. But Sasuke knew Naruto had a lot more power than what he let on, so he didn't know if it could be 2 or 20. Never knew with a wild card that Naruto, along with his training, Naruto taught Sasuke 2 jutsu since Sasuke had pleaded on his knees. Naruto gave in and taught him 1 B-class jutsu and 1 A-class jutsu that only a handful of people could do. The B-class jutsu was Kaiten. Giant Fire Dragon no Jutsu. I will not write the Japanese unless someone tells me that exact word jutsu in Japanese in the reviews. I am really lazy and don't feel like opening another tab to look it up. Sasuke coughed on quick and mastered the Kaiten jutsu on his 4th day of training. Naruto then taught Sasuke the Rasengan, but unlike Naruto, Sasuke couldn't master it in 1 week and was still on the 2nd phase out of 3 until it was complete. Sasuke also learned to master stealth and heighten his senses. Naruto taught him the second part, so he could tell if a girl was lusting after him since fangirls were always a problem with Sasuke, and if he didn't like them and knew what they wanted he would hightail it out of there. Sasuke's stealth and senses did indeed heighten. Sasuke could perfectly mask his chakra, so no one could sense it, besides Naruto haha. But no surprise there, his senses could smell hormones and hear from far away, nowhere near Naruto's sleeth and heightened senses, but he was better than an Inuzuka in Naruto's eyes, so that just goes to show how freaking good a teacher Naruto is. Sasuke's stealth was heightened by doing pranks with Naruto and running from Anbu and sneaking into the Anbu HQ to pull those pranks off. Sasuke's Taijutsu also increased to the point of mid-level chunin. In fact, Naruto's Taijutsu was unknown to Sasuke, but he knew that with Naruto you could always expect the very best. So Sasuke, you ready to go to the academy? Oh, and don't forget, hide most your abilities, because they won't wonder how a genin could do jounin level stuff te first day of the academy. Just power down most your skills to about 1/10 when showing off, said Naruto. I will Naruto-sensei. Said Sasuke happy as can be that his friend had taught him to be even stronger, and in only 1 week no less haha. That really showed how hard and powerful the training was. Naruto bonked Sasuke over the head once people looked at Sasuke like he grew a second head when he said Naruto-sensei and quickly told him Sasuke, I thought I told you to only call me that when we are training. Sasuke just remembered his friend's words 1 week prior and rubbed the back of his head nervously. I'm sorry, Naruto responded with I will let it slide this time, but we can still act as friends in the academy, so at least I don't have to feel lonely all over again, finished Naruto with a deep look in his eyes that pretty much screamed sadness. Sasuke knew his friend was lonely most his life and he vowed to always be there for Naruto. This time was no different. Cheer up man, we're almost there, then we can sit next to each other, like friends are supposed to do, right Naruto? said Sasuke, putting a reassuring hand on his friend's right shoulder. Naruto turned to Sasuke with happiness mixed with sorrow in his eyes and said, "Thanks Sasuke, that means a lot to me." Sasuke smiled and said, "No prob, now let's get a move on, don't wanna be late." Naruto smiled and turned away from Sasuke. "Okay, let's race, if you get there in the next minute, I'll teach you the Shunshin," said Naruto, already preparing to Shunshin to the academy. "You're on," exclaimed Sasuke, wanting to know how to Shunshin very badly. Sasuke showed up at the academy in a full-on sprint. He knew not to take off his weights because he knew Naruto wouldn't find that very fair since it would be too easy that way. He arrived next to Naruto at the front doors at his now record time 1 minute 36 seconds. "Alright Sasuke, you didn't get here under 1 pinute, but I will teach you the Shunshin this weekend when we have free time, okay?" Smiled Naruto. "Yes," cried Sasuke, happier than earlier. Naruto walked in the academy first, finding their door and walked in, not paying attention to the fangirls sporting hearts for eyes at Sasuke. Naruto chose a corner in the back of the room with no one around and sat down in the second seat to the end. Sasuke chose the seat right at the end, so Naruto was on his right and on his left was a wall. All the girls wondered why their Sasuke-kun was sitting next to Naruto, the one person their parents told them to stay away from or exclude him at any chance they got, along with make fun of him. One of the girls was daring enough to walk up to both of them and ask Sasuke, "Hey Sasuke-kun, why are you hanging with him? Our parents said he was a bad guy and to exclude and make fun of him, so why don't you come sit with us where you belong, with your friends?" The girl finished, sporting a smile, and when referring to Naruto a frown. This statement however made Sasuke angry. How could this girl be so mean to his best and only real friend, Naruto, without even knowing him first? "What did you say?" said Sasuke, making sure he heard her right, while Naruto just stared at him wondering where he was going with this. The girl smiled and said, "I said why sit next to that sorry excuse for a person and sit next to your real friends." She finished her sentence with a smile and a hand gesture motioning to the girls, looking with sparkles in their eyes at Sasuke. Sasuke for one was fuming. How could these idiots berate the man he now looks up to? "What?" yelled Sasuke, the fangirl shrinking under his angry gaze. "Naruto, my best friend. He is the reason I'm here and not dead," yelled Sasuke even louder, making Naruto open his eyes wide and jump up to cover Sasuke's mouth. "No Sasuke. We promised we wouldn't tell anyone besides the ones that were there that day," said Naruto with his hand covering Sasuke's mouth. Sasuke for his part was so angry he didn't care and bit hard on Naruto's hand, which he knew would heal right away. Naruto recoiled and rubbed his hand soothingly, cursing under his breath. "No. They will know. I will not stand by while the man thoughts of my mother from her death and me from mine, while in the process making my clan's assailant flee for his life, is being made fun of and mistreated." Sasuke was fuming and on the verge of beating down all that opposed him. As for Naruto, he had a look of annoyance on his face. "You baka," said Naruto, smacking Sasuke across the back of his head, making Sasuke yelp and rub the back of his head in an attempt to ease the pain. "That was classified information, and now I can't hide my abilities or they'll think less of me." "Ugh, you baka, do I have to fix every mess you make?" said Naruto. "You're lucky I can erase memories, otherwise I would kick your ass for this," retorted Naruto, leaking a sample amount of killer intent to make the girls and guys that heard Sasuke pant kneel on the ground or in their seat. "Mind eraser no jutsu," whispered Naruto, now erasing what was said with his jutsu. In the next instant everyone forgot, except for the clan heirs, excluding Hinata who fainted from looking at Naruto, and Sasuke who couldn't forget the memory because he was the one that said the words that needed erasing. Well, Naruto's jutsu gets rid of the meme, he has to implant a new one. The one he chose to implant for the girls made him snicker. He had implanted the idea and image of Naruto with every other civilian girl, blushing madly in the memory from looking at what was between his legs. Naruto implanted the image and feeling of getting kicked in the balls for the guys. More pain to the ones that made fun of him and treated him badly. After Naruto was done, the girls only remembered what he implanted in their memory, while the guys got an image and feeling of getting kicked in the balls, so they fell over or just stayed there. Somewhere already on the floor when the killer intent filled the room. Also killer intent will be Kai from now on, holding their crutches for dear life. Needless to say, Naruto was straight out crying from laughter. Every girl had a nosebleed and a face as red as Hinata's when she looks at Naruto, while the guys just groaned loudly. "What did you do?" asked a now not as angry Sasuke. "I made the girls and the guys forget what you said, implanting me naked as the image for the girls' minds, and for the guys the image and feeling of getting kicked in the nuts. As for the heirs to the clans, well, they could easily swat away my jutsu, cause I put only a little chakra in the jutsu to only erase what was said. If I would have gone all out, they would have forgotten everything, even their names, family, gender," said Naruto. While Naruto was explaining what he did to Sasuke, the clan heirs were looking at Naruto wearily. They did not know who saved Sasuke and his mom, and to hear a genin instilled fear into a person that could kill so many skilled Sharingan using shinobi, needless to say. The heirs would watch Naruto carefully, some would befriend him in time. Once Naruto was done explaining what he did to Sasuke, Iruka walked in. "Okay class, settle down," said Iruka. All the kids stopped talking, and the day began. Iruka talked about history first, consisting of the Hokages. The next subject was chakra. Some kids listened very intently at this. After talking about chakra, he talked about what they will be doing tomorrow. "Okay, you are dismissed. But tomorrow we will test if you have chakra capabilities and good accuracy with shuriken and kunai," said Iruka, dismissing the group. Naruto and Sasuke calmly walked away from the class first. Naruto was ahead of Sasuke while Sasuke walked behind Naruto. Sasuke was getting tired of all these fangirls and was going to yell at the large group of them following them until Naruto said, "Sasuke, ignore the girls. If I can ignore the evil stares from the village, then you should easily be able to ignore lustful little girls." Sasuke looked around and noticed that indeed Naruto was right, the villagers probably were a lot worse than stupid fangirls, so he ignored them and walked up to Naruto and asked, "So Naruto, how do we lose them then?" Whispered Sasuke, "Simple, I'll shunshun us to the compound, just grab my shoulder." As Naruto asked, Sasuke grabbed his shoulder, and in a big whirlwind were nowhere to be seen. "Where did Sasuke-kun go? We need to get Sasuke-kun away from that stupid Naruto. He belongs with us," at a random fangirl in the crowd. "Yeah, but he always seems to follow Naruto. Either sitting next to him or following him around, and just now Naruto somehow got him away from us." Once Sasuke grabbed his shoulder, they were gone in that whirlwind, said Sakura, one of the many fangirls and president of his club. It seems he used a shunshin forehead," said Ino, who was one of the clan heirs that kept the memory of what Sasuke said. It would seem Sasuke wasn't lying. But why does everyone hate Naruto? Surely pranks can't get him that much scorn and hate, thought Ino as she followed the other fangirls to their Sasuke girls club. So, in the next 10 minutes Naruto retold their day at the academy, starting with Sasuke's outburst, Iruka's boring lectures, and the many fangirls they just escaped from. "Sasuke-kun, you need to control your emotions. I know Naruto is your friend, but if people knew that we're not a part of what all happened that night, then civilians would find out and think stuff that could twist the truth to think Naruto is being controlled by the Kyuubi and is too strong," said Mikoto. Starting to care more about Naruto after spending years with him around and growing a bond which led to her small crush on her shining blonde hero. "It's okay Mikoto-san, Sasuke was only sticking up for me, which I appreciate very much, but people can't know just yet, they all still hate me, and if this gets out they will come to the conclusion that Mikoto-san just said," said Naruto. Mikoto just had a sad look in her eyes. How can Naruto-kun take life like this? "I wish there was something I could do to be of help to him," thought Mikoto while she walked with her son and Naruto back into the compound. The rest of the day Naruto was training Sasuke and was now telling him what his training schedule would consist of until the end of the academy. "Okay Sasuke, here is your schedule. I will give you a quick rundown of the times and training activities," said Naruto. "Okay, first off from 6 o'clock a.m. - 7 o'clock a.m. we will be running 30 laps around the compound. Also before we start you will up your weights to 90 pounds each. Each week we will up the amount by 5 pounds," he explained. "At 7 o'clock a.m. - 8:30 a.m. we will enhance your chakra control and heighten your chakra reserves," stated Naruto, while continuing his new schedule to Sasuke. From 8:30 a.m. - 1 o'clock p.m. we will be at the academy, where we will suppress our chakra to that of a genin, which will also help with heighten our chakra reserves and more chakra control, while we do all the normal genin stuff. After the academy we will come home and do our homework. Note to self. Teach Sasuke the damn Kage Bunshin no Jutsu so his clone can do the homework so I can use that time to train him more, after which we will work on your Rasengan training until 3 o'clock p.m. From 3 o'clock p.m. - 3:30 p.m. we will take a break to recharge our chakra back to normal. After the break, we move on to teaching you another Kaiten Jutsu that only I and another know of. It is very powerful and can get you out of a bind if you are surrounded. The jutsu is called Blaze Heart no Jutsu. This jutsu will take the chakra you have built up for the attack and then it will discharge from all around your body, using the oxygen in the air around you to blast the explosion away from you in a 360-degree manner, taking out a large amount of enemies, said Naruto, making Sasuke have a little gleam in his eyes after hearing the freaking awesome Kaiten Jutsu, as Sasuke put it. This will last until 5 o'clock p.m. and from then until 7 o'clock p.m. I will unlock your Sharingan by putting you into a life or death situation where you will have to unlock it to even see me coming. This will go on until you unlock it and then this time will be preoccupied by watching me do some jutsu with your Sharingan, but only the ones you are having a lot of trouble with. We don't want you to just copy my jutsus and not get a feel for them on your own." At the mention of awakening his Sharingan Sasuke was jumping with joy. Settle down, geez, okay, now finally from 7 o'clock p.m. - 8 o'clock p.m. we will practice better stealth and camouflage in jutsu and hiding your presence to help with hiding from your enemies and those pesky fangirls, said Naruto. Getting a large agreement from Sasuke shaking his head with enthusiasm. Naruto then went inside to eat dinner with Sasuke and his mom. They had some sesame chicken, white rice, ramen noodles, due to Naruto's craving for it, and some tea. At the moment they were all sitting at their small table talking about Sasuke's training. So Naruto, let me get this straight. You are gonna have him train in chakra control, and by the end of the academy he will have high Jounin chakra reserves and control. He will be faster than the naked eye, but not faster than the Sharingan can track. He will be a master in stealth and Genjutsu camouflage, and he will know many Kaiten jutsus, along with the Force Rasengan technique. Asked Mikoto. After receiving a nod from Naruto and a start-eyed Sasuke, she replied, "Wow, Naruto-kun, I never knew you were such a good teacher. If you taught all the students in your class, you would be able to make them Jounin in a fraction of the time it would normally take them to get there. Some probably will only make it to Chunin," said Mikoto, a little astonished at Naruto's capabilities to teach people, and at such a young age no less. "If Naruto-sensei can do that, then he must be majorly strong," said Sasuke while thinking had never seen his best friend fight at his best all out. He hoped someday he would get just even a glimpse at his best friend's power. "Sasuke. What have I told you about calling me that when we are not training?" said Naruto. "Sorry Naruto, got caught up in the moment of knowing you are the one teaching me this," said Sasuke, a little sheepish after forgetting. "It's okay Sasuke, I'll let it slide, and once we are done with the academy completely and anyone asks how you are strong or who taught you, then you can tell them the truth," stated Naruto. "Alright Sasuke, let's get to your room and get to bed. Arigato Mikoto-san, for the meal," said Naruto while he and Sasuke got to bed. "That boy is so interesting, I wish I could get to know him more. He seems to brighten everyone's day that can see past the Kyuubi when he is around, even mine," thought Mikoto, while taking the boy's lead and going to bed herself. The next day Naruto started his training with Sasuke, and after the academy and their chakra control workout, he taught Sasuke the Kaiten jutsu he told him about, and the rest of the day went on as planned in their schedule. Sasuke has been doing his training for 4 whole years now. He now wears 750-pound weights on each limb, has over high Jounin chakra and control, has been able to do the Rasengan Kaiten Heart Blaze no Jutsu, and is proficient in stealth and Genjutsu camouflage, along with a few tricks up his sleeve. We find our heroes at the entrance of the academy. Naruto arrived in a giant whirlwind Shunshin, while Sasuke came in a giant red fire Shunshin. Sasuke and Naruto at a class, even with them holding back more than 90% of Sasuke's power, and Naruto is holding back an unknown amount, but Sasuke wished to see Naruto's full potential someday. Naruto and Sasuke took the test to be Genin Academy and BOTHGOT 100% on their scores, even with Mizuki trying to stop Naruto's Bunshin during the test and be bailed to fail him and have him get the forbidden scroll. Naruto counteracted him and sent him into a never-ending coma that Naruto could get him out of with a simple jutsu, but no one needs to know that, haha. It was what he gets for trying to hinder Naruto and not pass him, and with their new headbands, they walk into the academy. "Can you believe it Naruto? We are Genin now, I hope we are on the same team, that would be so fun," said an upbeat Sasuke. "Oh don't worry about that, I pulled some strings with Oji-san and Jochi-san same team, but in exchange for it, we have to deal with your worst enemy, Sakura Haruno, your #1 fangirl," stated Naruto, cringing at the thought of hearing Sakura always screeching like a banshee. Sasuke for one was fine as long as Naruto was there to oversee his training and fight alongside him. "Oh well, I can tolerate it if we can train her to be of some use," said Sasuke. "Ugh, I will have to train her after today. Our sensei quit on us to go back to Anbu, and now I am the leader of our group. Oji-san said that I was capable, and we didn't have to do D-rank missions if I took the position, although for Sakura's sake, I think we should take a couple before we head on to C-rank. So I accepted, but he is to tell the whole class, and in the words of our favorite Nara "HOW troublesome," said Naruto. Sasuke was now in shock. His best friend and longtime sensei would be his real sensei and leader of his team. To say he was happy would be like saying Naruto only likes ramen, when in all actuality Sasuke was ecstatic. "Wow," was all he could say before he opened the door and he and Naruto walked up to their favorite corner in their academy room. Upon entrance the girls stared dagger and pitchforks at Naruto for being with their Sasuke-kun, until Sasuke stared them down and sat back and waited for Ira to get in. After another 10 minutes Iruka showed up. "Alright class, we will be finding out who your Jonin senseis are. There is only one team exception for this, but I will tell that team later," said Iruka while taking a quick glance at Naruto, who only smiled. "Alright team 1 is," stated Iruka, starting the long list of teams and names. "It's all the same teams from the regular series, just Kakashi is in Anbu still, and Naruto takes over. There is a reason I made Naruto team leader and Kakashi still in Anbu, haha just keep reading, and you will find out someday. And the final people who were not called please come to the front of the room, the Hokage will come in and explain, so there are no misunderstandings," said Iruka, while Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura walked to the front of the room. The class of new genin Hopefuls looked at the three at the front of the room as the Hokage walked in. "Hello class," said the Sandaime Hokage. "Hello, Hokage-sama," said the whole class in union. "Alright class, first I would like to congratulate you all on becoming genin. Two of you in this class have been training vigorously for the past 4 years, and it's no wonder they passed. Would these two individuals step forward and present yourselves?" asked the Sandaime Sarutobi. After the Hokage gave his speech, many of the genin waited to see who the Hokage was talking about and what made it special for the Hokage to actually be here to explain it. Naruto walked slowly next to the Hokage. Sasuke, not far behind, took up Naruto's empty side. "These boys have been secretly training more than you all, and the Inuo trained the other is this team's new sensei," said Sarutobi. Sasuke had a smirk on his face. "This will be fun," thought Sasuke. "Alright class, as of today this will be the first squad of genins without a jounin sensei. This team sensei will be..." Sarutobi paused and looked around. The many genin were hanging off every word. "Naruto Uzumaki," he said. Everyone sitting at their seats were silent. Sakura's inner bitch was on the high and blazing. "Who the fuck does that spiky-haired dick think he is? Sasuke-kun should be our sensei." After hearing her inner bitch, she had to agree, so she spoke up. Excuse me Hokage-sama, isn't Sasuke-kun better suited for this task? He is far superior than Naruto Baka," stated Sakura, getting louder when she mentioned Naruto. Sasuke looked angry but didn't say anything. He would let the Hokage deal with it. "Oh really Sakura, would you like to know who taught yours Sasuke-kun? Because that man would be Naruto. He has been teaching Sasuke for 4 years. Naruto has never shown his true power, even to me, but he taught Sasuke, and Sasuke is easily mid-jounin to high jounin level, and Naruto is way stronger than that. That is all I know. That's why Naruto will be your sensei, since he can handle himself and be able to protect the team like a real leaf ninja," said Sarutobi. Naruto Ashipi as can be with a shit-eating grin and a smirk combined, looking at the other genin in the room and loving the reaction of stunned silence. From everyone sitting down. "Wow Naruto-kun, you get your best friend and a screeching bitch. Haha, life just loves to mess with you, even if you had to agree to it." Naruto for a moment wondered who that was until it clicked. "What the fuck Kyuubi-chan? Why haven't you talked to me in forever? I missed you so much and felt like you were avoiding me," thought Naruto, keeping a straight face on the outside, but on the inside was a little sad. "I am sorry Naruto-kun, I had to attend a meeting of all Biju, and since I called to attend personally, I sent my mind into Thebaduf Immortal and had a long trip to find the meeting place. It has to deal with the Akatsuki trying to capture us. We need to mobilize and find the Biju containers. It is up to me and you to seek them out, find them, and then have an all-out war on the Akatsuki," said Kyuubi, switching to her angelic voice in mid-sentence while laying down on a bed in Naruto's Mindscape, completely exhausted. "Ugh, well okay, I will have to ask the old man for one of those can travel in and out of Konoha freely passes. And get to it Thagith Naruto." "Yeah, we will do that later." "Right, and why I'm Tyridan missed you greatly. Being with you always makes me happy and warm, not like that mortal's mind all cold and cluttered," said Kyuubi before she dozed off and fell asleep. "Alright, sleep tight, Kyuubi Haim," thought Naruto, sending a mental image of him smiling warmly to her. Back in the real world, Sakura was still belittling Naruto, but Hokage-sama, Naruto Baka is weak, even though she didn't pass the exam with Sasuke with 100%. "Lol, Sasuke is more strong and way cooler than that weak poor turd," said Sakura, happy with making Naruto look bad and making her Sasuke look good. "Naruto Baka has no family and no friends. Sasuke would never lower himself to Naruto's level," said Sakura. "Cha," said Sakura's inner bitch. This statement didn't go unnoticed by Sasuke or the Hokage. They both turned to Naruto then back to Sakura. "Oh shit," said Sasuke. While the Hokage's rebuttal was, "Sakura, why did you have to say that?" a clear expression of worry on his face. Sakura didn't know what they meant, but if the Hokage was worried then you better be too. "Sakura," said Naruto, with anger and hate in his voice. No one had heard Naruto speak like this and were all a little unsettled hearing anything but his normal happy-go-lucky and calculating voice. Sakura was scared, now knowing why the Hokage was worried. Naruto was always serious or being playful, and you could tell the difference all the time, and she knew he was seriously mad at her. Naruto's sunny blonde hair was shielding his facial features, and as he looked right into Sakura's eyes, she could now see blood-red eyes, with slits in them for pupils. She was now almost about to piss her pants. Sakura's inner bitch odd one last thing to say though, "Oh fuck, we're screwed." Naruto barred his now 1-inch fangs canines and finished his sentence, "Shut up." Naruto then, to add to scaring the shit out of Sakura, released his suppression of his chakra to around 20% release and sent a shitload of chakra and killing intent all over the room. Every genin was sweating bullets and cold rhetoric along with the ethersweeting bullets, scared for their life. Sasuke sprawled out on the floor panting, still able to breathe, but barely, and Sarutobi was on one knee, breath starting to become labored. Huff huff Naruto please, stop huff said Sarutobi, saying the question everyone wanted to say. Naruto ceased his kai, suppressed his chakra again, and let Kyuubi's power fade away, returning back to his blue-eyed, sunny blonde self. Sorry Oji-san. That bitch was annoying the fuck out of me stated Naruto, still a hint of anger in his voice. Everyone watching was thinking at the same thing, many of the thoughts were along the lines of what the fuck happened to Naruto. And he even made the Hokage sweat beads and kneel, and the Hokage is supposed to be the strongest of the village, and the most thought one was how the fuck did he get so strong? Sasuke was actually happy even thought at the moment aura in the air pretty much screamed, "Im angry don't fuck with me or you will die." The reason he was happy though was he finally got a small glimpse at Naruto's power, and he knew Naruto had more, just the thought of all that power, and more made Sasuke wonder, who would be able to make Naruto go all out. After Sarutobi's lapse of labored breathing he thought, "I'm getting too fucking old for this shit." After his thought he said, "Alright class, now that is over, I would like you to wait here for your sensei, Naruto, please take your team and get to know each other better," said Sarutobi, giving a smile toward Naruto, who then re-earned its smile with his foxy smile. "Okay Oji-san. I already know Sasuke well and his fighting abilities, but I will have to get to know Sakura and try to get her at least a little close to Sasuke's level, alright. Team, move out," said Naruto, shining in his big whirlwind Shunshin. Sasuke followed suit and left via his fire-type Shunshin. Sakura walked out of the room, mumbling something that sounded along the lines like show-offs. Sakura could only think of one place she knew Naruto goes, and Prady was there. Sakura thought if that Naruto baka isn't there I will castrate him or bonk him over the head. Don't want a repeat of what just happened. Sakura's inner bitch put in her 2 cents worth as well cha. If he isn't there, then we also shove a pole up his baka ass. Sakura shuddered a little, sometimes her inner bitch was too sadistic, even if it was her locked up emotions. Naruto had shine to Ichiraku's ramen and was sitting next to Sasuke. He was on his 9th when Sakura lifted up a flap and sighed a breath of relief. Good hess here thought Sakura who sat down next to Sasuke on his left. She looked toward Naruto and was gonna ask something when she saw him grab his 10th bowl of ramen and sweat drop. Jesus Christ. That baka can eat. He has a bottomless pit for a stomach. Thought Sakura. Sasuke was a little peeved, he didn't like Sakura, and his hate for her grew when she said her comment on Naruto at the academy, but then again, Naruto showed his power to him for only an instant and underpowered, but that was fine, and it was due to Sakura, so he guessed he could forgive her, but just this once. "Sigh that was some good ramen," said Naruto. "Alright Sakura, since you're the new member of me and Sasuke's group, we will have to go over formalities, so tell us your likes, dislikes, and goals, we will share ours," he said. Sakura complied and started to say alright, well I like shopping, being the Sasuke fangirl club's president, and I like Sasuke-kun," said Sakura, with stars in her eyes while taking quick glances at Sasuke, much to said man's ire. "I dislike Ino Pig, Naruto baka, and getting rejected by Sasuke-kun when I ask him out," pouted Sakura. Not liking that last one since he always rejected her no matter what, Sasuke was now a little more angry since it was true, this girl never gave up on asking him out. "And my goal in life is to marry a special someone and help him revive his clan," finished Sakura while blushing madly, making Sasuke want to gag and yell at her in the face, saying that would never happen, but he was not gonna break, not now, ugh, so, our new addition is a fan-crazed worthless sack of knowledge," said Naruto, a hint of annoyance to his voice. Sakura just pouted, crossed her arms and puffed her cheeks, looking very childish hmph. She mumbled. "Alright Sasuke, you're next, I already know, but Sakura needs to also know, since she will be our teammate until we're chunin," said Naruto. "Aw, fine, well my likes are my mom, Naruto, and playing pranks with Naruto to improve our stealth and camouflage skills," said Sasuke, having a small smirk cross his face from remembering the time he and Naruto outran and hid from over 40 ambus for taking all their weapons and clothes, which they returned, but not before turning the clothes pink and the weapon hilts purple. Which caused them to have to wear that same attire for over 3 weeks, which got a huge laugh out of the village. They returned them by Naruto making a clone and having it turn into a giant bird to drop off all the stuff at the Anbu HQ. Sakura had whipped out a notepad and pen and was writing everything Sasuke said down so she could tell the Sasuke fangirls club later. "My dislikes include fangirls always chazzing me and never leaving me alone, girls who don't train hard and only worry about their looks, and also I dislike the villagers that scowl and hate on Naruto, well they seem to put me on a pedestal and give me things they think I would want, including daughters, money, food, even some men have given their wives to me, so they can look good in my eyes." Which they don't, said Sasuke, I'll link at the end, and finally my goal is to revive my clan with a woman I truly love and help Naruto out in life, he said, smiling at Naruto, who returned the smile because his friend was just that, a true friend. Sakura looked a little miffed but pushed that aside and put her notepad away for later on. Naruto was up next. Okay, I guess it's my turn, said Naruto. Well, my likes include pranks with Sasuke, ramen, and enhancing my abilities, he said. Sasuke smiled, but Sakura was mad that Naruto get to be with Sasuke more than most people, including her. My dislikes are the 3 minutes it takes to prepare instant ramen. Instant ramen my ass, whispered Naruto at the end, continuing his speech. More of my dislikes are people who judge others before they get to know them, and Sakura, said Naruto, making Sakura cringe at remember what he did earlier, and also she had to remember to get a change of panties, her front was wet. And not the good kind most men like, and my goal includes releasing a dear friend that I love from her prison of a life, once and for all, along with help the others like me, and lastly protect my precious people, he finished saying. Oh Naruto-kun. Were you talking about me? Asked Kyubbi, scratching his cheek in embarrassment, replied to her. Haha, I see you woke up from your short-lived nap, and yes, I was talking about you, said Naruto, mentally smiling inside. Oh Naruto-kun, you're so sweet, I knew we were friends, but I didn't know you liked me more than that. Haha, perverted giggle, smiled Kyubbi, showing Naruto a mental image of a foxy grin. Haha. Well, I guess that sorta slipped out, and we can talk more on this subject tonight when I join you in my Mindscape when I go to bed, he said to her. Oh okay Naruto-kun, purred Kyubbi, making Naruto blush a tiny bit from hearing her seductive voice in his head. Back to reality, Sasuke was waiting for Naruto to say what they would do as a new team. And Sakura was just staring dreamily at Sasuke. Oops, sorry guys, spaced out there. Okay, so as a new team I would have to assess your abilities, but since I know Sasuke's and I have seen all your Sakura, tomorrow I will have a schedule for you to do every morning before we do our D-rank missions. Meet me at 6 o'clock a.m., said Naruto. Sakura didn't want to train. But she did want to be of use to Sasuke and the team, so she wasn't looked down upon, so Sakura complied, said her goodbyes, and left, but not before taking one last glance at Sasuke. HMPH, that girl seriously is the ban in my existence, said Sasuke, a big scowl on his face. Don't worry Sasuke, I will try to ultist get her up to Chunin level, have her graduate be promoted to Chunin, then her life will go on from there. I will not make her as strong as you, if I did, then she would use that power to look down on others and use her power to sway people to her bidding, like a crazy ass fangirl she is, said Naruto. Now, Sasuke, let's go home. You need a new training schedule, jutsus to practice, and added weight on your weights, he said, smiling a huge sly foxy grin. Sasuke smiled, but on the inside he was scared. Ah crap. How much harder could training get? Thought Sasuke. Naruto and Sasuke shunshined to the Uchiha compound after paying for their meals and saying their goodbyes. Sasuke walked into their house and said hello Kasan, guess what? He said excitedly, waiting to tell his mom what happened today. Mikoto was happy to see her son and couldn't wait to hear what team he and Naruto were on. What honey? And hello Naruto-kun, hope you had a nice day, said Mikoto with a smile. Naruto smiled and waved in a happy manner. Well. Guess wo's my teammates, and then guess wo's my sensei. Said Sasuke overfilled with joy. Is Naruto-kun on your team? Asked Mikoto, hoping her son would be in good hands. Somewhat, said Sasuke with a sly smirk and in a thinking pose. While this exchange was going on, Naruto wanted to see Mikoto's reaction. He worried she would say they should have a red Jounin sensei. What do you mean somewhat, Sasuke-kun? I don't understand, said Mikoto, clear confusion written all over her figure. Sasuke just smirked at what he was going to say. Haha, wonder how she'll react to me telling her Naruto is my sensei along with Sakura as my teammate on the team. Sasuke thought, oh, well Naruto sensei is my team sensei, and my teammate is Sakura Haruno, Sasuke said with a knowing smirk. Mikoto was a little astonished that a genin could shoot up and be a sensei for a two-man genin cell, and ride out of the academy too, but then again, she was talking about the man that saved her and her son, and trainer her son who by now is at high Jounin level. She finally got her mind straight and back to reality to say that's great Sasuke-kun. I can't believe Naruto-kun is a sensei, and yours no less, she said with a happy smile. Naruto let a breath out he didn't know he was holding, and smiled that she was happy and trusted her son in his hands. Maybe I should tell Sarutobi on what I have to do that involves me leaving the village and gathering the other Jinchuriki that Kyubbi-chan talked about. Ugh, why was I volunteered for this task again? Ugh, goddammit, well what's done is done, thought Naruto. Naruto was now looking at the scene of Mikoto hugging her Sachi, son, happy as can be. Naruto let out an exaggerated caw to get their attention. Cog, well not to interrupt, but I do have to tell Sasuke his new schedule that he will be doing tomorrow morning. And as his sensei, I need him fully rested and bathed before we start tomorrow, said Naruto. His teacher sighed, psyching in. Mikoto just smiled and nodded, released Sasuke, and gave him a push toward Naruto. You can go take a bath, then go to your room to discuss your new schedule, and then get some sleep, she said sweetly. Sasuke just nodded and went upstairs to take a bath. After Sasuke bath and getting his PJs on, Naruto and Sasuke walked into his room. Naruto was laying in his little doggy cap and PJs in a cot Mikoto got for him while Sasuke slept on his bed. Naruto was looking up into the darkness of tea room and said, "Okay Sasuke, you will up your weights to 1,000 pounds on each limb. I will teach you 3 new jutsu that are 2 offensive and 1 defensive. And we will improve your taijutsu and stealth. Tomorrow morning is when we start," he finished. "Hi, Naruto-sensei, good night," said Sasuke while yawning. "Good night Sasuke, good luck tomorrow," Naruto said tiredly. Naruto had drifted off to sleep and was slowly pulled to his mindscape. Mindscape? Naruto opened his eyes and was looking at a cloudless blue sky. He was laying down in a flower bed of multiple different colored flowers, varying from the brightest reds and green to the darkest blue and purples. He sat up and looked around. He was in a big field surrounded by a vast forest of trees, each one had a piece of paper on it that said seal. When he turned around, there was a king-size bed with darkish orange drapes, resting on the vast amount of flowers. Naruto walked up to the bed and pulled back one of the orangish drapes and saw a small fox with 9 tails swishing in the air unconsciously. This was the Kyuubi, and she was fast asleep. Naruto leaned over the bed and scratched behind her ear. Kyuubi let out a small grumbling purr and opened her eyes. "Hey Kyuubi-chan, you ready to talk tonight?" said Naruto, a smile on his face that warmed Kyuubi's heart. She was the most feared demon in all of existence, and the strongest demon at that, but when around this young man she would blush, stutter occasionally, and even have fantasies of him and her doing things. He made her feel wanted and happy. "Yes Naruto-kun, I am ready to talk," said Kyuubi while blushing. She looked up into his dark ocean blue eyes, lost in the vast sea of unknown that were branded as Naruto's eyes. She had never had a family of her own. She had never loved anyone in all the millennia she has been alive, but Naruto was the first. He captured her heart and she wanted to capture his too and have a family with him. She also loved how he could be so caring and compassionate to others that he trusted and cared for, and when addressing someone he didn't like, his mood would do a 180 and turn to that of fury and anger. It turned her on like no other. "Kyuubi-chan. Kyuubi-chan. You there? Hello?" questioned Naruto, waving his hand in front of her face. Kyuubi started to blush, realizing she wasn't paying attention. "Oh sorry, I spaced out there for a moment," said Kyuubi, rubbing the back of her paw in an embarrassed manner. "Oh well that's okay, and I came to talk to you about my small confession," said Naruto, averting his gaze, rubbing his neck in embarrassment. Kyuubi smiled. She had been waiting all day to talk with Naruto about this mmm. "Yes, let's talk about your little slip of the tongue. So tell me Naruto, what do you think of me?" questioned Kyuubi, waiting for his reply. "Well, I think you're nice, cute, funny, you cheer me up when I'm down, you are the most compassionate person I know, and I think it's cool you can be so nice yet be deadly in battle. To me you are my very first and best friend," said Naruto smiling. Kyuubi was loving the praise from the man she loves, but hearing him say that he considers her only as a friend, her heart sank. She was about to speak when Naruto finished the rest of his statement. "You're sexy as hell, you have the most beautiful crimson hair, sparkling smile, and I love you," he said. Kyuubi was astonished. All she could think about were the last 3 words he said. Did he just say, he just said, "Oh god, he loves me too." Kyuubi finished her train of thought and started crying tears of joy and happiness. "Naruto-kun, sniff, do you really mean it?" Sniffle, she cried out through sniffs and sniffles. "Yes Kyuubi-chan, now can you please turn into your human form? What I want to give you, you would have to be in that form to receive it properly," said Naruto. Kyuubi gave a questioning look, wondering what he would give her, but calmly and reverted to her human form. She had bloody crimson hair that fell to the middle of her back and looked as smooth as silk. She had a face that could only be summed up as a goddess's. She also had eyes slanted slightly like a fox. The color of her eyes were dark red with sliver eyes, slanted like a predator's at night. Her lips were a pinkish hue, begging to make contact with another pair. She had 2 earrings, one was a fox and the other a half moon, both of them a light crimson color. She wore a dark red kimono. On the kimono were many doves flying in different directions from a blazing sun. Located where her heart was, she had D-cup breasts, and on her right hip was a katana. The scabbard looked like moving blood, while the guard was a pure gold, and the hilt was a dark obsidian black color with a tight grip. She also had 2 cute fox ears poking out of her hair that were orange, with on the tip. Along with the ears she had 9 swishing fox tails that were also orange with white tips. All in all, Naruto thought she was the most beautiful person he had ever seen. She appeared to look 18 and was around 57 compared to Naruto's 56, but he didn't mind. Alright, now Kyuubi, I wowed leak to ask what you think of me before I present my gift to you, said Naruto smiling while blushing. Kyuubi smiled and started by saying, I think you are the most kind and compassionate person I know. I also think that you are cute, charming, and have amazingly awesome gravity-defying golden wild hair. You are funny and care for me like I care for you. You are my best friend ever and I know I love you too, finished Kyuubi looking Naruto right in the eyes. I think I can give you my gift now Kyuubi smiled Naruto in a husky voice that sent pleasurable shivers up and down Kyuubi's back. Naruto walked up to the bed, never taking his eyes off of hers. He got up onto the bed and crawled up to Kyuubi. She wondered what gift he could have possibly gotten her. When she felt something soft touch her lips, she looked and realized they were Naruto's lips. Naruto had his right hand behind her head stroking her hair lovingly, his left hand was on her right cheek, softly pulling her into the passionate kiss. Kyuubi now realizing the situation flung her arms around Naruto's neck, resting them on his shoulders as she pulled back. They both fell back while in their lip lock and rested on the pillows, never breaking contact because air was irrelevant in his mindscape. During their connection Naruto's left hand never left her cheek, but his right slowly went down to her back pulling her tighter against him, her D-cup beasts pushing against his muscle-toned chest. After a while, she licked his lower lip asking for entrance. Naruto complied and allowed her access. The taste was as real to her as it was to him. He tasted of ramen, sugar, and a hint of blueberries. Odd thought Kyuubi, but she still loved the taste. Naruto also was allowed entrance into her mouth. He explored all the crevices and recesses known as her mouth. To him she tasted like cinnamon, strawberries, and a slight hint of vanilla. He wondered if that was the taste of her or the smell of her aroma. He didn't care and just kept going. She moaned into his mouth multiple times wrapping a leg around his legs. After about 5 more minutes they broke apart a small string of saliva connecting them by their bottom lips. So, you like my present? Asked Naruto with a smirk while still staring into her eyes. I think my birthday came early, said Kyuubi with a cute playful smile. He smiled back and gave her a small chaste kiss on her lips. Great, I'm happy you liked it, because to me that meant more than physical contact. It expressed all the emotions I couldn't express about you in words, said Naruto a grin on his face. Kyuubi was happier than she has ever been in her life. And synceth it's like over a millennia of years, that shows how special this is to her. So, does this mean we are together now? Asked Kyuubi looking as innocent as can be. Naruto chuckled and said yes. Kyuubi only if you want to. He smiled his big gauzy smile and gave her one last kiss on the lips. Good night my he said. Good night Naruto koi whispered Kyuubi laying on the bed with Naruto, cuddling up to him using his chiseled chest as a pillow. With a sigh of content from both parties, they fell asleep in each other's arms. Thanks for watch here I end here.